Hi everybody, this is foXnoMad, and today I want to help you travel smarter by reviewing the Jabra Elite 85H active noise cancelling headphones road tested after 1 year of continuous use and travel. Now, for those of you who don't know, my road tested is a series where I take a piece of tech or travel gear and use it for months, years even on the road to see how well it holds up over time and let you know whether or not it's still worth buying. And it can also give you an indication of how a company might make their future products as well. So let's get into the Jabra Elite 85H. These are active noise cancelling headphones which sit over your ear. They were debuted by Jabra at CES in 2019, and I got my hands on them a couple months after that to test them out for a full review. I'll link to that full review down in the description or up here somewhere so you can take a look at that. And after using these headphones for over a year, I found these to be a very, very good start for Jabra, a company that's mainly known for making headsets and microphones. This is a very good jump into the active noise cancelling, the high-end headphone market, but hopefully it's not the end. Let me explain. So looking over on the exterior of these pretty sleek looking headphones, they have a combination of matte black finishing as well as this fabric exterior you can see here. The fabric has held up very well over time. I was surprised actually. I was worried that it would get kind of cut up and worn or sort of get caught on something when I was taking it in and out of my backpack, but none of that happened. It still looks good after a year of use. The matte black finish parts of it, the plastic parts, also held up very well. They're very resistant to scratches, which is something that just annoys me. And sometimes manufacturers can make that plastic just a little bit too soft, but the 85H don't show any signs of scratches on the exterior, so they've held up very well on that point. The leatherette, which is kind of a faux leather that they use for the ear cups, has also held up pretty well. They're very soft. They've always been very soft. They've gotten a little bit worn, mostly on the ear cups and not so much on the headband itself, but you can see just a little bit of wearing, which is natural for leather, but for leatherette, that's not exactly the best sign. But this is such little weathering over a year that I don't think this is going to be a major issue anytime soon. And the buttons on these ear cups here for volume up and down, pause, play, pick up a call and all of that, those are also pretty good. They're very clicky. They're almost a little bit too clicky so that you have to kind of push the ear cup too hard, which presses on your ear. They could be made just a little bit softer or maybe just sort of a touch sensor there, but otherwise those buttons still held up very well. I just like them to be a little bit softer. Now, speaking about those ear cups, one thing that I did notice using these headphones is how hot they got. So those ear cups are really well sealed with the leatherette. They don't let your head breathe at all, so you get very, very hot, especially when you're traveling in an airplane and it's sort of cramped and you got these things on your head. It's going to get very hot to the point where it's uncomfortable. You're going to start sweating. You're going to want to kind of open up the ear cups to let your ears breathe. And I think the leatherette there does almost too good of a job sealing in basically your ear, and it creates a lot of heat. It's very hot. It's not as breathable as some of the other competitors like the Bose and the Sony. So hopefully in an upcoming version of these headphones, they'll make that fabric more breathable or design the ear cups with a little bit more space for your ears. They sit pretty much as close to your ear as they possibly can without them actually just being right on your ear. So maybe a little bit more space in the ear cup, maybe making them just a little bit bigger will help your ears breathe more so you can use them for a longer duration, especially when you're on the subway or you're on a train or cramped places like an airplane. Otherwise, the small form factor is very nice. They fold very easily into this flat case they have. But speaking of that folding, that did cause some issues with me. So if you look at these ear cups, you twist them on and off when you take them on and off your head. That turns the headphones on and off, which is a pretty sleek way to turn the headphones on and off. It's pretty intuitive, it's pretty natural, it's pretty minimalist. All great things and all things that I associate with Jabra, but that right ear cup kept giving me a lot of trouble. So taking just a quick step back and talking about the sound quality, I really like the sound quality of these headphones. They're not the greatest, they're not absolutely the top of the top, they're just below that. So these aren't bad sound quality headphones at all. And the ANC in these headphones is great. And I think it has a lot to do with the 8 microphones that are in these headphones. Jabra is, of course, a company known for making microphones, which makes sense that they would make great microphones for their ANC in their headphones. But one thing that kept getting in the way of that ANC was the hinge. So you see this right ear cup here, it doesn't quite fold in the design they have to fold it into a case. And there was just something wrong with it. After about a month of using these headphones, after my original review, I noticed that there was a little bit of static, especially when I was on an airplane. So these are kind of two things going on here. One, the jet engine noise seemed to confuse the ANC in these headphones. Secondly, there was also a general kind of static in the ANC mode that I noticed a lot. And it had a lot to do, I realized after time, with that ear cup. So if I would take that right ear cup and kind of try to adjust it and align it, somehow the wires inside would get just right and the ANC would be perfect. For about a split second, it was such a delicate kind of setup that I wasn't able to maintain that for very long, especially when these headphones are basically in use on your head. And it would create this static. At the worst, it would just be like a little annoyance, a little static with ANC on. But at worst, it would just be you couldn't hear it at all. It would just be complete static. It would be very useless, and all you'd be hearing is basically static through the headphones, which was a real bummer, because the ANC in these headphones, when they work, is very, very good. Now, this just might be the headphones that I had in particular, but I've tested these on a couple of these different devices, and I noticed the problem creep up in all of them. In all of them, that right ear cup kept being an issue. And some of them it was a little bit worse and some it was a little bit better, but it's clearly an alignment issue with the wires, I think, on that right ear cup. Something about the fold design in that right ear cup is a little bit wonky, and unfortunately it affects the ANC, and that's really just kind of a letdown. But again, this is Jabra's first attempt at ANC over-ear headphones in this premium market, so hopefully that will improve over time. So in the next iteration, hopefully there will be an improvement on that, so we can basically enjoy that ANC without having any issues in the future. The battery life is still solid in these headphones. You don't have to worry about a big drop off on standby or use time. It's still got about 40 to 35 hours depending on whether or not using ANC in these headphones, which is excellent. The battery life was very good, no issues there. And the Smart Sound app has gotten better with a couple of updates. Basically what that does is it calibrates the ANC to either go to a pass-through mode or to be more completely silent or less silent, depending on where you are and what's around you. So if you're in the subway or if you're in an airport terminal and you're walking down to your gate and there's an announcement, it'll automatically turn the ANC kind of down, amplify the dialogue that's going on outside so you can hear that gate announcement. And then when the announcement is over, it will detect that and will go back into typical ANC mode. It wasn't perfect through the Smart Sound app, and you really do have to go in there and calibrate it to make sure that it works, especially for the kind of use you're using it for. But otherwise, it's a really neat feature, this AI in these headphones. And we've seen Jabra using AI in their other headphones. Like they've got this My Sound app, which I saw at CES earlier this year, which essentially calibrates the sound that's coming through your headphones or earbuds to your ears. So you take an ear test through their app. It determines where you hear frequencies well, where you don't hear them well, kind of the spectrum of your particular ear pattern. And based on that, it'll calibrate the music at different frequencies so that you hear it ideally for your particular ear. The sound just sounded louder and better. It was just amazing, incredible feature. And I'd like to see that in a future iteration of the 85H. I'd really like to see that My Sound feature in the next generation of these headphones. So these are a really good pair of headphones. They're a good start for Jabra, especially again, jumping into a market that's basically dominated by Bose and Sony. But if you remember, these headphones were $100 less than those Bose and Sony. So it was nice to have a competitor that was making a quality product and undercutting the main competition in terms of price. They weren't quite as good at the ANC or the sound quality as the Bose and the Sony, but given that they were $100 cheaper, they were a good alternative. These 85H are really good start for Jabra. Now, they haven't announced a successor to this, and hopefully they will. And, you know, headphones don't go on a yearly update cycle. Right now, I haven't heard of anything. There's nothing on their website. They didn't debut anything at CES earlier in this year, so they might not have something early enough in the pipeline. The worst case scenario would be they just completely abandon their jump into this segment of the headphone market. I don't know what the sales of the 85H were. I don't know what the cost analysis is for them, and whether or not they're going to make an update to this or whether they're going to stick in this market altogether, considering that it's really dominated with Bose and Sony. But hopefully they do stick around, and hopefully they're still working on a next generation of the 85H. It was a really good start to a pair of ANC, almost not budget, kind of mid-tier-ish, almost headphones. They were kind of right in there. And I'd like to see more headphones in that space as well, because I'd like to see more competition for Bose and Sony, because I think that competition will have them evolve faster. We'll have all of these headphones evolve faster. AI in the headphones, great. You can take that from Jabra. Battery life, you can also pick that up. That would be great. Jabra can learn a lot as well from Sony and Bose and maybe bring some of those ultra premium features down into the kind of high mid headphone price range. That would be great. So if they stick in this market of sort of not ultra premium, but kind of high end mid tier A and C headphones. I think it'll be good for all the headphones in this class and up. It'll help them all evolve and get better and give us as users better features down the line. But of course, if Jabra decides not to make a successor to the 85H, then it's going to be a really good end to a product that had a really good start. And that's going to mean all of us as users are going to miss out. Hopefully in an upcoming version, they sort out their reliability issues, tweak the sound quality just a little bit, and of course, keep those great microphones. So there you have it. That's my road tested review of the Jabra Elite 85H headphones. Let me know if you've used these headphones and some of your experiences using them down in the comments below. And while you're down there, hit the like and subscribe buttons. I'll have new videos for you every week. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. But after using these headphones for, I found them to be for headphones. But after using these.